everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. It's Code Karen. Welcome to r/Am I the A-hole, where we have 4 incredible stories. If you're new to this channel, a sub would be great. Let's jump to the stories. Our first story is, am I the a-hole for not telling my ex I got pregnant to let him know that he is the one that is infertile, not me? I, 28 and female, was with my ex-husband for about 6 years. During this time, we were trying for a baby, but had no success. About 4 years into our marriage had a rough patch. My ex-husband had stress at work and slept with his co-worker to relieve it. He confessed to me rather quickly, and a week later, they sat me down and told me they were expecting a child. I was an idiot back then, and so I felt like I should forgive him because I truly believed he loved me, and I thought I had no one. It wasn't true. My ex-husband's family treated me like their own, but my ex's new baby daughter was the apple of their eye. As a result of that, my ex's co-worker/baby mama was a frequent presence in our lives. They felt like they had to include the mom of their grandchild in everything, and she made her way into every family picture and memory. It didn't help that I suspected that the co-worker had feelings for my ex and flirted with him when she could. People constantly thought that she was my ex's real wife, and I finally had enough when during the baby girl's first birthday party, I was told to take a picture with my ex, his mistress, his daughter, and his parents, and it didn't include me. It hit me that I was now treated as the other woman, and I realized that I deserved more than this crap. I filed for divorce a few months later and left. It was the hardest time in my life, but I ended up getting a promotion at work and met this sweet, wonderful guy. Fast forward to now. Me and my boyfriend are madly in love, and I gave birth to an adorable baby girl that I considered a miracle baby. I got pregnant with my boyfriend almost 3 months after dating him. I thought that it was so strange that this could happen, since my previous failed attempts with my ex had me believing that I was the infertile one. It crossed my mind that maybe he was the infertile one, and he only believed that his mistress was pregnant with his child because they were having an affair. I didn't say anything because it wasn't my place anymore. However, my boyfriend was so happy about my daughter's birth and posted it on Facebook and tagged me in the post. I was still friends with my ex's sister-in-law on Facebook, and she saw the post. She called me up and said that she was hurt that I didn't let her know that I could actually get pregnant, and the fact that I could not get pregnant during my first marriage could be my ex's fault. She told me he took a paternity test to see if his baby girl was really his, and discovered that the baby girl was never his child. The co-worker apparently was dating this terrible guy at the same time she slept with my ex and didn't know who the child's father was, so she just strung my ex along because she had feelings for him and thought he'd be the best father for her child. Now, my ex blames me for not telling him that I got pregnant. He said that if he had known earlier, he might have learned that he was not the father of his baby girl. He's doing pretty bad now, and I can't help but feel guilty. Like, I should have told him. Edit. Okay, so first of all, I keep seeing that people have seen other posts like mine on some YouTube video. If so, I'm upset that others had similar situations as mine, and that some people find the situation so hilarious that they made a video out of it. I've also never posted on Reddit before. I had a previous account for browsing, not posting. I don't think I have to prove my story, and I honestly posted this not to seek validation that my ex supposedly is the worst ever, but to gain perspective since my ex and his family were my family and close confidants for a large period of my life. We were pretty close, and I had promised to keep in touch after the divorce, which they were super upset about, but I really couldn't after everything that happened between us. They're now super mad at me for the divorce and for being complicit with my ex as he took on the expenses of his not daughter and forming a paternal connection with her for longer than he should have. Edit. So here's what's been happening right now. I haven't spoken to my ex's family after this posting and have been avoiding my ex's calls. He texted me saying that he is sorry and overreacted and felt guilty about prioritizing people who were never really family over me. I only replied by asking how his daughter is, because even though she isn't biologically his, she's still his girl. She seems like an adorable kiddo and adores her dad. My ex's mistress is able to support the girl financially, so my ex won't have to contribute any monies, but he said that he's still going to see her every month because he feels morally obligated to. I feel bad for the girl so much because she seems to have lost her family unit, dad, grandparents, cousins. Our second story is, Am I the a-hole for kicking out my girlfriend because she said my relationship with my brother was disgusting and creepy? I'm 22 and male, and the legal guardian of my 15-year-old brother. We're very close, and we've always been like that. He lives with me now, obviously. He often gets really sad. We recently lost our parents, so I comfort him as best as I can. So, about my girlfriend. We've been together for 2 years. She doesn't live with me, she stays over pretty often though, so she has the house keys. 2 days ago, she came over without warning me. Me and my brother were asleep on the couch. He wasn't wearing a shirt because it was hot, and he was laying on top of me. She woke us up and made a scene in front of him. She said that our relationship was weird and disgusting, and it's extremely concerning that he's so affectionate towards me. My brother was in tears, and he even apologized to her. I brought him to his room and calmed him down. I went back to living room. She was sitting on couch, watching TV, and acting like nothing happened. I told her to get out. She got defensive again and said she was just stating her opinion without hurting anyone. I grabbed her wrist and showed her to the door. I didn't hurt her. She was following me. I didn't use any force. She left. She called me a few times, but I didn't answer. Update. Thanks for all the comments. I talked to her. She still said that she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't hurt my brother, and it wasn't her fault that he started crying. I broke up with her. Also, little info. This doesn't happen often. We were on the couch watching TV and fell asleep. He laid on top of me after he fell asleep. He moves around a lot while sleeping. No big deal. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend over this innocent misunderstanding with my brother of all people? Our third story is, am I the a-hole for telling my grandparents that my step-siblings destroyed our family heirloom jewelry? My mother died when I was 10. My father married a woman less than a year later who promptly did her best to have as many children as she could, and had 3 more kids with my father. She has 2 older kids too, who are 8 and 7 now. 6 kids is a lot, but it's a pretty big house. I'm the only grandchild on my mother's side and the only granddaughter on either side. My grandparents typically gift me jewelry, and I got my mother's collection when she died. As a religious custom, we don't really do costume jewelry. All of my jewelry is real and not cheap. It sounds vulgar, but my entire jewelry collection is worth about $100K easily. I came home from seeing a friend, and the oldest 3 kids had a pile of my jewelry on the floor of their playroom. They had been jumping on it, smashing it, and shooting at it with BB guns. Yeah, my father allows that apparently. I screamed and got my father, who came with his wife and dismissed the entire thing. They destroyed multiple pieces, several of which were heirloom. My stepmother didn't really care. She pretended to yell at her brats. She later came home with a dollar store necklace that she made the kids get me and said that that should be enough and that I shouldn't have such idols or wear such religious jewelry. One of my necklaces is a Star of David. I saw red at that. I got her to repeat it so I could record it. I emailed all of my grandparents, aunts, and uncles detailing what happened, attaching the recording and pictures of the damage, and then I went to the brats' playroom and destroyed one of each of their favorite toys. My grandparents are now suing my stepmother for $50,000, and half of my family now hates her. My father is furious and thinks that I should have kept it within the family and let him work it out. Am I the a-hole for wanting to protect my family's heirloom jewelry and in the process, divide the family? Our fourth story is, am I the a-hole for walking out after a boss tried to refuse to accept my resignation? I had a boss who was a real turd. He labored under the delusion he was an excellent boss, and couldn't equate that his behavior and the crappy pay was why he had such a hard time keeping employees. He also thought it was acceptable to call his female employees Hun, Sweetie, and Sugar. He was a condescending jerk who constantly passed over more qualified women for promotions in favor of promoting less qualified men. I had to stay until I could find a better job, because I enjoy eating, lol, and couldn't afford to leave unless I had something else. I got an interview with a competitor who hired me on, and I'm making more than I made with Turd Boss. I turned in my 2 weeks, and he said, "Oh, sweetie, you know you can't leave." I said I absolutely am leaving. He got the smuggest look on his face and said, "Well, I'm not accepting this, Sugar. Guess you're here to stay." I got so furious and decided that was it. I said, Well, screw this then. I quit. Effective immediately. I called my new job and explained what happened in front of Turd Boss as he sat there slack-jawed. I agreed to start the next day at my new job. I packed my stuff and left. A former coworker said it was an a-hole thing for me to just up and quit on the spot, but if he refused to accept my resignation, he could easily have tried to screw me over when my last day did come. My new boss said he deserved it, and I'm not the a-hole for quitting like I did. My boyfriend says he can see how other employees might feel like I was a jerk by making them cover for my absence, but he sees how that I'm not the jerk for walking out of that toxic environment. So just because I'm curious, I thought I'd ask here. Am I the a-hole for abandoning my coworkers while I skipped to my new job? What do you say, Code Karen community? Comment below.